Okay, my name is Jesse Ejegi-memeh. Before I started the fellowship program at DevOps Africa, I was a data annotator, right? And I was working on data sets for machine learning for some international companies, right? And it was good at the time. That was my first introduction to tech, right? And then I wanted more. But due to my schedule with work and other responsibilities, I just couldn't learn it alone. So I decided to sign up somewhere that gave me an enabling environment and a community of like-minded individuals that I could learn with. And the DevOps Africa offered that. So I signed on. Okay, I heard about the DevOps Africa through a friend of mine. The friend of mine also was looking to get into programs like this. And at the time, I was looking at options. There were a few other big players in Nigeria at the time. But after doing a little bit of research and making my findings, the DevOps Africa just seemed the best choice. Okay, so the funny story is that I didn't decide to train as a DevOps engineer at first. At the time, what was very, very, very much common was front-end engineering and back-end engineering, right? And I really wanted to be a front-end engineer. I had a thing for visuals at the time, and I was already learning, right? I had done quite a lot of learning on my part. I had done a few projects. I just wanted to further my knowledge. However, when I got to the DevOps Africa, I decided to meet the facilitators for different tracks, right? And then I came across the facilitator at the time, Frank. He was extremely lively, and I loved the way he broke down basic concepts. I loved the way he talked about DevOps. That sold DevOps to me. And within a couple of minutes to hours, I changed my mind. And that brought me here today. Oh, okay. I would describe it as amazing, yet intense. I would say that because it was one of the most challenging things I took on at the time. I mean, I got here and I was quite confident, right? Because I had been doing quite a lot of self-study. But when we got hands-on into the program, I was shaking because I got to be in a community of people that were extremely serious-minded, extremely focused, and then the facilitator was very, very much hands-on. So it was amazing for me because I was learning a lot of things, to be honest. I learned new things, not just technical skills, but also soft skills. And at the same time, the technical aspect of it was quite fast-paced. There was no room to slack or just be stagnant, right? You had to go ahead and along with everyone, right? So it was very intense for me. I mean, I can remember nights where I couldn't catch up to 3 hours of sleep. I can remember days when I had to leave the facility around 9 p.m. just to make sure that I caught up. So it was very intense, but at the same time, it was an exciting and amazing experience. Okay, that's a good one. I would say number one is managing stakeholder expectations, right? There are a lot of expectations on us as DevOps engineers because we literally kind of hold the pillars of the products of the company, right? If anything goes wrong, we are the first point of call. Another challenge I would say is very common is managing and saving costs, right? You need to know your onions when it comes to cost management and saving. You don't want to overspend, right? You always want to do things, especially cloud-related, within budget. I think those are the most common challenges. Okay, during the training, we had end-to-end projects. At the time, we had projects around cloud, right? Infrastructure provisioning. We had projects around Linux. We did a couple of things on Linux hardening. We had a couple of projects around CI/CD pipelines. We had projects along deployment of different type of applications, using different stacks. Did a little bit of things around database setups and management. And then at the end of our program, we had an end-to-end project, right, where we had to inculcate all these things we had learned together into a large project. Okay, since I finished up the program a few years ago, I have worked on multiple projects across multiple industries in technology. I worked on a project related to finance. I think that was my first breakthrough role. I worked, with a fintech organization to get the applications up and running. I worked also at an edtech organization, and I also worked at an outsourced firm. At the moment, I work at an organization that does or provides healthcare services in Nigeria, and we are doing an amazing job. And so far, I would say that I have reaped the fruits of my labor, right, when it came to all the time and hard work I put in during the program. Apart from the technical skills I learned, I also learned a lot of soft skills, right, that have helped me move from one stage to the other in my career in a short while. A lot of things from day-to-day communication with team members, working on projects here at the Bulb, and learning from our facilitators and the management as a whole have really helped me up my game in my personal life and my career as well. Okay, since I rounded up with the fellowship program a few years ago, I've worked across multiple industries, from fintech to supply chain and logistics to edtech, to retail and sales, and then health tech too. So I worked across board. And one thing I would say that has helped me is not just the technical skills I learned here, right? I also learned a lot of soft skills. From the day-to-day routine, coming to the office at the speculated time, to the stand-up meetings we used to have, to the soft skills that we learned here, right? Each and every one of these things have impacted my career in one way or the other, and I can't be more thankful for the program that I took part of at the Bulb.